Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing a different type of video after I put up my last video basically talking about wanting to try and do some stuff which is like original creative content. After that video I said that there's not really any music coming out in June. 2 days later, Avenged Sevenfold dropped their brand new album Life is But a Dream. I'd be really interested in listening to this album because I did the reaction video on Nobody and I kind of came away from it like it wasn't that good, it was a bit mid. But then the song started growing on me, I started to understand it a little bit more. And I wanted to do a follow-up video for the actual album. What I'm doing today is I'm just gonna go and talk about it just briefly. Where the f did it come from? I just want to talk about it briefly because I think it's a very interesting album to talk about and discuss about. I used to love Avenged Sevenfold growing up. I think the last album I listened to was Nightmare that came out in like 2010, I believe. Hail to the King, I kind of enjoyed, and then To the Stage, I can't even remember what the album's called because I just had no interest in it whatsoever. I knew I wasn't going to have enough time to sit down and listen to 53 minutes of an album. I wanted to just listen to it on my own time, so I thought, right, well, this album, I've got nothing to lose. I can either hate it and not make a video on it, I could hate it and make a video on it, I could love it and make a video on it, or I could love it and then can't be bothered to make a video on it. I sat down, I listened to it, and I really enjoyed the process of just listening to an album again without having to worry about uploading anything. Starting the album, we got like the first, obviously, new song on the album, and it came in hard, and I was very surprised at how hard it came in. It was almost like every problem I had with... What are these cats doing today? It's like almost every problem I had with the single kind of like just got flushed away, just kind of erased from my mind, and I was like, okay, well, this is Avenged Sevenfold, this is what they sound like. Then Metal, I think that's how you pronounce it, came on, and that kind of like just, it was the most Beast and the Harlot sounding song that we'd got, and the most recognisable from their older songs and older albums that I was not expecting to get. In saying that, obviously, it's still new, it's still fresh. The third song obviously was Nobody, which, you know, was growing on me, but I still kind of see it as one of the weakest songs on the album, and I'm kind of happy with that because it means like my opinion hasn't been completely swayed just because, you know, we've got like some heavier songs on the album. I'm not going to suddenly fall in love with Nobody and then like go against everything I said in that reaction video, because I think I was, in my opinion, correct on where I stood. There's definitely some standout songs. I really like We Love You. I really like the kind of like continuous repetitive like build high, build wider. I love that. It was really like kind of gets you into a zone. Every single song seems to go from like, it flows into so many different versions and so many different, I don't want to say genres because I don't know what kind of genre you'd put this album in. We've got classical guitar going into like heavy guitar. We got like guitar solos, which, you know, are always the things that I really enjoy with Avenged Sevenfold. And we also had some really experimental filters on these solos as well. You're just sitting there listening to it and you're just like, what the hell is this? But it worked. It also got to one point where I believe it was in the song Ordinary, and I think it was the one before, but I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been Easier, I'm not too sure, but they had some sort of like Daft Punk Lucky vibes to it. Like the vocals were just really weird, and throughout the whole album the vocals are constantly changing. We don't get like his old heavy metal screams or his roars, but when I did the Nobody reaction video I said, oh, he seems quite weak, he doesn't come across as strong as he used to. He comes across strong in the rest of the album, 100%. The best way I could sum up this album is theatrical, performance-based, experimental, progressive. That is exactly what it is. They're very theatrical. They've always kind of been theatrical, but this took it to a whole new level. This genuinely felt like I was listening to like a whole theatre show. I could just imagine them playing it like to an audience. Like it was almost like a story going through. We've got a lot of different instruments throughout. Like you name it, they've got it in there. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I definitely didn't hate it. I'm definitely not going to slate it. I'm not also going to pretend that because it's so weird and wonderful and genre fluid, that, you know, I'm this really massive intellectual who just gets it, because I really don't. I enjoyed it. Would I listen to it constantly over and over again? Probably not. I'm trying to think of like a good situation where I would listen to that album. It probably is just like sitting down, minding my own business, going from A to B. It's definitely not like a gym album. Maybe a couple of songs like We Love You. I quite like that. I've already played it in the gym. Fucking, you know, got me in the zone. It's just a very unusual album, and I think they deserve, or they're allowed to make an album like this. They've made such good albums like City of Evil, Nightmare. They've done their time. They can go along and they can experiment as much as they want. And they're already kind of like in the whole crypto space as well, which not many bands seem to be doing. And they're like, you know, got the Death Bats Club. And not my thing personally, but at the same time, I respect it. You do you. That's cool. So that's basically how I'm going to leave it. I think I've covered all bases. Like this whole album would just be good summed up as like a theatrical performance. Very much kind of like, and I'm not comparing them completely, and don't hate before this. It's just maybe because I've watched the film recently. But you know, like how Queen were very like performance based. It was a show, and this is what this album feels like. It's a show. No, they don't have as many standout singles as kind of Queen had, obviously. The whole album itself just felt like a constant show that you could watch, listen, engage with, enjoy. I've listened to it, I reviewed it in a very light-hearted way. It didn't have any expectations for me. It was definitely better than I thought it would be, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. If I was going to rate this album out of 10, just on hearing it 3 times, so it's nothing big, could grow on me a lot more than it already has, I would say lowest, it's probably a 6 out of 10, highest, probably maybe a 7.5 out of 10. So I'll go with like a 7. I think that's quite fair from where I stand on the whole album side of that. Not a bad album, not an album of the year, but a solid experimental, they've done what they wanted to do and I respect it album. If you listen to it through once and you don't like it, you tried it. If you absolutely love it, great, that's good for you. If you hated it, you've got 4 other albums, or maybe 5 if you want to include Hail to the King, and maybe 6 if you want to include the stage. I don't know what you thought about it. It makes me think maybe I should go back and listen to the stage, because I never actually listened to it. So let me know if you think that's worth it. Let me know what you thought about this down below. I'm thinking of doing a lot more of these kind of videos where I listen to albums in my own time and come back and let you know how I thought about them, because there's been so many albums that have come out. Veil of Mail, which I've never listened to, but I've heard a couple of their singles. The Amity Affliction album, other ones that I haven't done or said I was going to do but never did. I might just do it with them. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I didn't shit on it too much. Let me know what you thought down below. What are your favourite songs on it as well? I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe. See you later. Goodbye. You two are ruining my video and I will kick you out. I don't know how many cuts I'm going to have to do to get rid of all the cat fighting.